Barney, just when you think not much goes on in the NRL, Russell Crowe's trying to sell a team. David Fifita's injured. Bradman Best is blowing up about Leo Thompson leaving. It's all happening, mate.
It is, mate. Now, let's start with the Russell Crowe news. So this was broken by Buzz, I believe. Buzz said...
Got to be true then.
Russell's out there looking for potential buyers for his share. I believe he's got a 25% share, is it, in South Sydney?
And if you were thinking that he was selling the club and it would appear on like a website of, like a real estate ad, how would you describe the South Sydney Rabbitohs in a real estate kind of...
Fixer-upper? Fixer-upper. I mean, there's the coach's box does have a bit of old person smell, but other than that, it's a decent property. It's a decent property. I don't know which quarter he owns of it. But,
slightly damaged.
Yeah. Mate, it's a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
It's a definite fixer-upper. But
Renault's delight.
Russell Crowe has said, South Sydney Football Club, what would January in Australia be without desperate legacy media conspiracy theories? Enjoy the summer sun while it's there and ignore the trolls. WB back on board, a fresh energy about the place, an arrowhead on our intentions.
Yeah, it's interesting. Russell doesn't tweet a lot, so he's gone to his computer, he's opened it up, he's angry, he's punched in his username, then he's had to type in Gladiator IM as his password, and then he's just fired up at Buzz. And Buzz wrote back too. Buzz
responded, did he?
Buzz said...
Return fire?
Yeah, he's
Did
standing
he block
by...
Because that's a Buzz move. Buzz will block someone. Buzz, call in if you're listening.
Well, but Gary's got a bit of buzz about him. I think have you seen him in the same room together?
Mate, yeah, they speak at completely different paces. Let's be honest. If Buzz spoke that quickly, NRL 360 would be a different show. I do like that he's gone WB, so Wayne Bennett back on board, a fresh energy about the place. Now,
how old is he?
He's 70.
Yeah.
72? Are we talking 72 for Wayne? Or 73? But yeah, when I think fresh energy,
card, right?
75.
75, definite seniors card.
Yeah, he's got a seniors card.
Yeah.
He'd be catching the cheap bus down to Bunnerong there. But do you think fresh energy when you think 75-year-old blokes?
No, not at all. Especially blokes who don't know the names of some of their players either as well. I don't see that. Buzz Rothfield replied, "I stand by the story" on X. They were his words. So a bit of friendly fire from two of rugby league's oldest. We're talking about Wayne Bennett, Russell Crowe. It'd be interesting to see how this goes. Russell obviously saying he's not trying to offload the. Is he trying to get a high price? Is he? Is that?
We were chatting about this before we went on air. Look, there's a difference between actively looking to sell something and just checking the price. Maybe Russell needs a loan. Maybe he's getting a loan, so he's just getting all the value of everything, He won't find out what his collateral's worth.
Yeah.
You never know.
Look, a lot of South fans would probably snap up the deal if it was on Facebook Marketplace. That's generally where they tend to hang out in droves. But big story. Be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Yes. Now, in other news, David Fifita, this isn't great news, has suffered a setback in his return from ankle surgery. He missed the final round due to an ankle injury. He had surgery in the off-season, but has not been able to join the Titans in full pre-season training. At this stage, it does not require further surgery, but he still needs some time off being able to train without restriction. Obviously, David Fifita is key. We're going to be talking about enforcers too coming up later on, and certainly that for the Titans. Where do you see the Titans sitting without David Fifita, mate? Like where are they looking to fill that hole if he's not there for the first couple of rounds?
Well, luckily, and I know they're playing different positions, but Big Tino is back this season, hopefully fully fit and firing. And not to say that he will slip into that spot, but they pretty much played an entire season without him last year. Beau Fermor, who had a lot of injuries as well, came back sort of mid-season. He's a gun player who's filled in the centres occasionally as well. There's lots of opportunities. Young Payne Haas's brother, opportunity for him.
Cleese?
Yeah.
Cleese Haas. So, yeah, so you're seeing this more as an opportunity for other players to step up?
Yeah, they'll try and cover David Fifita's 23 minutes a game and do their best at doing that. Look, they've got a lot of depth, mainly in the halves positions and spine area. Could you see AJ Brimson moving into the lock position and then pushing players from lock upwards? Because it does seem like they don't have any. I mean, I'd have room for Brimson, but all the chat is that he's probably going to start the season at 14, right?
Well, I mean, I suppose that probably was thinking that you'd have that. You'd have Fifita back. Maybe that is a shuffle. Des is he's the mad scientist for a reason. He's got a theory up there about what can be done. Now, mate, moving a little closer to our hearts, let's chat some Newcastle Knights news. Bradman Best addressed the media at Knights HQ today, and isn't it good to hear from Bradman? Yeah,
Bradman's one of the more excitable NRL players, don't you reckon? Like he could win the lotto and he'd still sound the same. Like he just sort of he's got a kind of groove about him that he likes to settle into. He spoke about a whole range of things. He talked about loving to win a comp at the Knights, but moved on to the fact that he played Origin, had a significant hand in. I know he only played the one game, but he scored a try that obviously led to us winning the Origin series. And talking about getting back there and some unfinished business, and potentially also he was in the Kangaroos train-on squad and furthering his rep career a lot. And then he was asked about Leo Thompson as well, and I think we've got some audio as well.
It sucks that he's leaving us. He's such a good player, but I'm so happy for him. He's worked so hard to get this opportunity to secure a spot for him, his partner, his family, to go down there, and he's got goals and ambitions as well, and he deserves this. So I'm stoked for him.
Oh, didn't he sound stoked?
Well, it's hard to know with him.
Yeah, it is.
He could have been a bit sarcastic, or he genuinely could have been stoked for him, but yeah.
Now, rumours going around that in order to replace Leo Thompson, the Knights are now targeting the Sharks cult figure Tom Hazleton, who's coming off contract in 2026. What do you make of that?
I love a cult hero, and I'm not sure what makes you a cult hero. Is it what you're likeable, you're bald, I don't know. Yeah. Along those lines.
People like you without knowing why they're liking you, I think.
Yeah. I'd love to see Tom Hazleton at the Knights. I think he'd fit in well. I actually, in my little Knights chat group, he was described as the next Matt Parsons.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that. I like that talk. Tom Hazleton, good Goulburn boy.
Is he?
Yes, and friend of the show. I believe he was on the run home with Fletch and I just towards the end of the year. So it seems like a good young kid. Now, just on the Leo Thompson situation, one of Brooksy brought this to our attention. One of these beautiful quotes from Bulldogs media release on the Leo Thompson situation. Out of respect for Leo, the Newcastle Knight, and their fans, the club will not be making any further comment until next off-season. We look forward to welcoming Leo and his family to the Bulldogs in 2026. Isn't that respectful? Isn't it nice to know that as a Newcastle fan, you have the respect of the Bulldogs?
Yeah.
To be honest, if they respected us a lot, they wouldn't have stolen Leo Thompson. But
I do. And as a Knights fan, I'm pretty now that he's going anywhere and to the Bulldogs. But, part of me feels like, because he was going to Canberra this time last week, wasn't he? And now he's not. He's going to the Bulldogs. So I think they've been hard done by the Raiders. Like they had Leo Thompson. Now they don't. We still do. Josh
agreeing about the respect from the Bulldogs, about as respectful as the kick-out photo.
I think that's probably why the press release came out, wasn't it? They were like, hey, boys, quick, let's get a photo of Leo Thompson in Knights jersey. And someone's like, whoa, hang on. Remember the kick-out schmozzle. So
we're supposed to have respect for other clubs.
Yeah, we'll release a press release. That'll fix everything.
Now, one of the other things that Bradman Best was asked about was, and it's been the bane of our existence as Knights fans, is the lack of a consistent halves combination in the Knights. So Bradman was asked who he thought was the best Knights combination.
Yeah, well, it's hard. There's plenty of depth here, and the competition here, the boys have been unreal. They've just been battling it out, all the boys. There's so many, and even the young lads coming through, they're stepping up. So it's good. It's good, healthy competition, and I think that's what we need.
Who's leading the way?
Oh, look, I reckon all the boys, they've been unreal. I'm not going to say names, but, the boys have been killing it, and it's good, healthy rivalry.
Did that sound to you like, when you sometimes you start talking and you go to reach for a name and all the names are gone? He just couldn't remember who the halves were.
Yeah, you're at the shops and you're with your missus and you see a couple of people but you can't remember their names. And you're like, who are they?
Hey, mate.
And the Knights always get criticised for having too many halves. And he just highlighted it there, didn't he? He goes, all of them. Like
all the boys.
A whole lot of them. It was like that. We've heard this quite a lot from the Knights. So we interviewed Matt Croker from the Knights a little while ago on the Mowers Club. We asked him about the halves. He said, I don't know, not sure. We interviewed the great Danny Badiris on a podcast that we do together a little while ago. He had no idea about who was going to be the halves as well. And now Bradman Best has no idea who the halves are already. So, look, interesting times at the Knights. If you think about the end to last season, we had the New Zealand hooker, Phoenix Crossland. He finished in the halves for the Knights with Cogger at 6. Tyson Gamble came back onto the bench at one point towards the end of the season. Does he start? Does Crossland start? A lot was talked about whether Brayley would be moved on to the Eels or not. That creates a problem with Crossland, Matt Arthur and Jaden Brayley all being hookers. They brought Matt Arthur into the club as well. So, yeah, a lot to be moved around. Obviously, Pezzett as well, not signing with the Knights too.
Mate, you're not shy of an opinion. Looking at the squad that the Knights have now, who is your starting halves combination? Who do you want to see there?
Oh, I'd leave it just for now. I mean, I think we need to develop a half, but I'd leave it the way it was finished, right? So I'd have Phoenix Crossland at half, and I'd have Jack Cogger at 6. And then I'd have Matt Arthur on the bench, and I'd have Jaden Brayley in the team. It's a pretty convoluted. It means Tyson Gamble misses out, which is a little bit tricky, but you need a little bit of depth. There are some good halves coming through. There's a kid called Jai Lanane who's doing great things coming through as well, and a few other kids. We've signed some guys from other clubs. There's a good little half from the Sharks and a back rower. I know he can't play in the half, but from Penrith who's coming through as well. And I've got a good enforcer for you coming up a little bit later on.
A good enforcer at the Knights.
Yes, as well.
You see, that's how it's done, Bradman. You name names, mate. You name names. Yes. All right. Now, moving on. Have we got... Who would I have? This is I don't know is the thing. As I've been struggling with this question. I'm not the greatest football analyst.
You get a job at the Knights
for starters. But it's one of those ones where if you see enough, like it's like as a fan, I haven't seen enough consistent combinations to really develop a preference. I tend to think like you do. I think you finished the way we started. I think Jack Cogger's clearly a good half. We saw that, particularly when he played in that grand final for Penrith. But Phoenix Crossland. I think Phoenix Crossland suffers a little from the fact that he can play almost too many positions. You know what I mean? Like if you just committed him to one position, maybe he could go to that next level. But he's such a good utility player.
Seems to be the problem with the Knights, doesn't it? Start of the season, coming forward, we're going to have potentially 3 hookers or 4 different halves. But the bloke who's won 4 comps will sort it out.
The bloke who's won 4 comps.
What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.